Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, where we seem to have blown the case wide open with the help of the Chief of Police Gant, IDing the victim in the other crime as the victim in our crime by the look of it, which is a very, very weird thing to happen with 2 strikes due to carelessness. Maybe I'm doing it a bit too fast or trying to prompt stuff a little bit too much fast, that's for sure. We move on. And this means what exactly? What does it mean that their IDs match up? Huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82. I've forgotten. He didn't even get the first number right again. The number the chief of police gave us was 584-2189.
Objection!
Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, ho, 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 sharp as attack, righto, sharp as attack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim and I'm the sharp cheese. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Well, the autopsy report doesn't say that. Yet, Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department, in the evidence room, at the exact same time.
Objection!
That's impossible! So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location? Order! 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 Chief, what does this mean?
Objection!
No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case. Now, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error? Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekings who brought you the news. Officer Meekings? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, it's that guy who says sir a lot. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. You don't mean him? According to Meekings, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said the report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. He's right. In a way. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Gah! Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error. A gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy.
Objection!
But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy. What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law, Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. How is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? It was not relevant until we proved it relevant. I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Wright over here. Good job, Righto, my boy! Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! It seems we have come to the end of this trial. The whole trial? I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy. What with all those rumors? You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth! Please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened, if it's the last thing I do. You'd better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned. And so we've made it through day one, it seems. But the latter part of that trial was very weird, you've got to say. I'd say there's things brewing, wouldn't you? As we head back to the Wright & Co. law offices. Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 PM on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're gonna find out. Or try to, at least. Alright, let's do it! Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go! Science awaits us! Does it now? You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. That oil drum. Was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. My sister, erasing evidence of the crime scene? Never! Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just, we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Ha ha! Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water, as I thought. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? Test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Touch the screen to spray it on. Okay, let's find us some blood stains. Okay, well, we know where we're looking for. Do I go more than once, or do I stop at some point in time here? Well, you'd imagine the boot of the car would be. We just got to keep spraying the same point to make it clearer and clearer, it seems. I can can see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So is this a bloodstain? It's so, Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Well, it's not really real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Oh, okay, well, we definitely know that this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course, that there's so little. What's odd about this, scientifically? The amount of the blood. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to be more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright. I'm going to mark up the floor plans when we find a bloodstain, okay? See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, and this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Alright, we have ourselves some luminol testing fluid received from one very proud-looking Emma Skye. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. And let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah! It feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? Guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. Ha! Who is it? Angel Starr. I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Starr! You only trust your own eyes, huh? Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. Right then, well, before we talk to you, because that's obviously what we gotta do, how do we use the luminol? Find blood traces spray to use. So we can only use it on an area. And we found ourselves some there. Which is interesting, I used it. I wanted to use it on an item, personally. This blood must be from when Lana... No! My sister isn't the murderer! But she did call you, didn't she? At the time of the crime? And her right hand is bandaged. Hey, just whose side are you on? This has nothing to do with taking sides. So, this means that Lana's hand had blood on it. This just keeps getting worse. But we know she had blood on it, she was cut. We just gotta find out why she was cut. That's pretty much the be-all and end-all of that. So we confirm the link there. At least one little link. Let's talk some more. I was hoping to use it on an item though. Let's talk about today's trial. You certainly put me on a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Starr, but... No, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Skye stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? What does it have to tell us? Well, maybe we should ask. So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Starr? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal when they faced me. They coughed it up. Coughed it up? They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I dragged the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect, and before long they called me the cough-up queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? I felt that I found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It It's all because of that case. The SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... Right, we need more info then. It's time to present her with some stuff, like first of all the SL9 knife maybe. What do you think about this? The SL9 incident is written on that knife. And on that note, Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know. Really? Indeed. That knife was evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? And I think that's your nice segue to chatting. Or not, okay. Not going to tell us any more just yet. We want to give it some more there. Something else to hand over? Well, let's check the photo. Ask more about that. If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room. But even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime. Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The hole in my testimony, as it were. Testimony it was. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem. Indeed it was. Listen, little girl. I've had my testimony disregarded before. And I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time? Is she going to tell me any more? Oh, actually, it might be more than one bit of evidence was needed to bring forth the testimony here. Testimony, we could call it. That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable? To who? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. So they didn't solve it? On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred. What? Well, the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence. Of a sort, made up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen. Others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Oops, I mean Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. Let's ask more about him. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined. And then, it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait! Those lunches you sell? There is only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends. Boyfriends that can help me investigate. Miss Starr's old boyfriends. How many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, Rookie. What? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. A Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. Alright then, we've received a steak lunch. Miss Starr? Officer Marshall, is he your, are you his... Are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. And now he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. Officer Jake Marshall. And so we continue onwards. We've got the full 4 conversation options and also found ourselves blood around the scene of the crime all around there. So it's time to move on to another area. Where do we move? We'll find that out next episode on Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Bye-bye.